Before we start the review, I have to warn you that there will be story spoilers in the last part of this review, but there is timestamp in description so you can skip that part of the review completely. Alright you fungus-loving bastards, here are my thoughts on this controversial title. Remember that every review is extremely subjective. Game was beaten on survivor difficulty with resources set to moderate. The Last of Us 2 has customizable difficulty, which I find fantastic. It also offers accessibility options that can help out players in changing some aspects of the game. I love when game offers so many options. Customizable difficulty saved my playthrough. I was about to give up playing on survivor difficulty, but then I saw option to make resources more abundant. It changed the very frustrating experience to extremely enjoyable one. Just that one slider. Gameplay consists of stealth, action and adventure. It doesn't go very deep, but it does not have to. On survivor difficulty I find gameplay to be very effective. No need to overcomplicate things. What the game focuses more is the impact of gameplay, and this is one of the best aspects of the whole game. Why? Because animations and brutality of this game are second to none. It is gruesome and violent to the extreme, and all made even better with amazing animations. Movement, attack, dodge, seamless transitions from open space melee combat to back against the wall combat. It all looks so good. Most gory and brutal game I have ever played aside Mortal Kombat, even when counting in games such as Soldier of Fortune, Manhunt and Postal. Simply the realism of it all is staggering and no one is spared. Male, female, dog, zombie, they all will die in extremely gruesome way and I absolutely love it. We need more of it in games these days. Kudos to devs for sticking with it and not mellowing down after the first game. In Last of Us 2, most of the time you will spend sneaking about due to resources being scarce. By the way, looting feels very satisfying and I enjoyed calmer sections where looting was priority. Every resource is used to make helpful things like trap mines, medkits, special ammo, etc. Abby and Ellie, controllable characters in the game, have different things they can craft which can lead to different approach to situations. They also use different weapons and somewhat different character upgrades that can be acquired by collecting pills all over the world, which adds incentive to explore. There aren't that many things we can use in game, but it doesn't have to have abundance of craftable things. This is more than enough, as it can give massive advantage in certain situations. Action part, meaning shooting and melee fighting, is very impactful due to aforementioned brutality and fantastic animations. Bullet wounds look great as there are entry and exit wounds, if you didn't blow enemies head off already, that is. Upgrades can make aim more stable, but it isn't easy to be good shot in this game due to main protagonists being more human and not at all perfectly trained Terminators, even though Anabolic Abby comes close. I liked the overall unstable aim mechanic, even though it does not make sense in Abby's case. When it comes to Ellie, I can understand as she is crony kid, but top trained killer Abby should do better. Abby for some dumb reason also needs to craft shivs in order to stealth kill clickers. This gives advantage to Ellie as she has combat knife at all times, but Abby, the trained killer, doesn't as she is reduced to crafting shivs. Abby on the other hand has crossbow that is best stealth weapon in the game since it is easier to use than bow. Stealth has been improved due to addition of prone stance that can help tremendously in staying hidden. Rest plays out the same as the first game and overall it is a good basic system. Bows, crossbows, silenced pistol and traps are all crucial in maintaining stealth. On hard difficulties, stealth is mandatory because there aren't enough resources and you can die quite easily. Human enemies have great AI, at least on survivor difficulty. They will cover each other's back, search locations from where the noise came slowly and thoroughly, spot you quickly, and their aim is very good, so firefight is not smart idea no matter how fun at times it can be. Zombie enemies are the same, with addition of Shambler, tank-like bastard that cannot be stealth killed but requires different approach. Fighting humans, however, is so much more fun due to good AI and brutalization of human body. One of the issues I have with The Last of Us 2 are companions that accompany you for the majority of time. Dina, Jesse, Lev are all detrimental to overall experience as they kill the atmosphere and intensity just by being there. Best sections of the game are when you are solo as Abby or Ellie without anyone on the side because it is so much more intense. I am not saying companions are useless in combat, far from it, they just almost completely kill survival horror vibe of any kind by being there. It is a shame because this is one of the most obvious pointers towards propaganda-driven game where unnecessary becomes major part of your overall experience. And a detrimental one as well. The Last of Us 2 has many fantastic locations with very intense chase scenes mixed in stealth and adventure, and I like how it all plays out together if it weren't for fragmented story that serves no purpose, but I will get to that later. Post-apocalyptic Seattle looks fantastic, locations are extremely well done. Urban meets nature would be good description. Almost every combat scenario location is wide enough for all kinds of stealth maneuvers, with addition of many immovable objects that block sight. It is awesome to silently move through these locations, crawl through tall grass, laying down traps and silently picking off enemies one by one. When it comes to graphics, there is nothing to say except that the game looks stunning. Attention to detail is amazing, characters look fantastic and facial expressions are second to none. 9 out of 10 graphics. It's not 10 out of 10 because there's too much film grain for my taste. Audio is 10 out of 10. Subtle ambient music, great sound effects across board, top voice acting, nothing to complain here in my opinion. Now we come to story finally. If you do not want spoilers, skip this section by using timestamps in description. By reading everything before, you would think this game is absolutely amazing. It would be if story wasn't utter propaganda-driven horseshit. Biggest offense by far is fragmented story pieces that kill gameplay momentum completely. As soon as you get immersed into the game, here is flashback scene that pulls you out of it all. To make things even more frustrating, flashback scenes with Joel have more emotions and better writing than all of Last of Us 2. Instead of beautiful father-daughter relationship from the first part, now we have superficial and pointless relationship between two women as a substitute since our beloved Joel got killed by being careless and trusting, which is contrary to his character. I would not mind them killing Joel if Ellie was then soloing afterwards, which would make for far better game. Instead, you get utterly useless character called Edna that is detrimental to the story and atmosphere. Oh yeah, and she's pregnant on top of it all, bloody hell. Is this high school relationship simulator or post-apocalyptic brutal kill or be killed world? I don't care they are lesbians, that is not the part that bothers me at all. Whose dick you suck or whose cunt you lick is of no concern to me in real life, and even less so in gaming. I generally do not care about romantic relationships in games. I do not want them as they serve no purpose, unless whole story revolves around them, and that is not the case with Last of Us 2, as it is forced down everyone's throats to suffer through this nonsense next to main story. Same thing happens when playing as Abby. Completely useless story with trans kid that got ejected from the village because they wanted to marry the girl to elder warlord, but she is a he now, so is not up for it. Fuck me. In brutal world such as this, they focus on irrelevant things like that. I understand what they were going for here. It directly hits at religious communities that expel members for being different. That is fine sentiment, but adds nothing to the story, as it becomes another propaganda added bit that serves no purpose except make people roll their eyes. Lev to me is the worst written character in game, as I had no connection with the kid and wanted little bastard to drown somewhere randomly. Same with Dina too. Same with Ellie for that matter. Ellie, amazing written character from the first part, is now annoying half-adult brat that has no character anymore. None. This is not a thing when character is so well written so that you hate it. It is a matter of fantastic character turned into bland, non-interesting one. Anabolic Abby is better written, but she clearly serves feminist agenda where women are better than men. Almost every male character in The Last of Us 2 dies, but these uber women can handle anything thrown at them and act as Terminators. No emotions or empathy, which is clearly the opposite of what a woman is. Instead, male characters show far more empathy and less rational thinking, which is also opposite of most males, even when accounting emasculation that is taking place in Western society with all these pink-wearing, ankles-showing pretty boys walking around singing Katy Perry. Oh yeah, you want plot summary and what game is all about? Revenge that never gets carried out on both sides. Yeah, that is it. You play for God knows how many hours where story drags on and don't do the deed you set out to do in the end. Exactly the same thing with other characters as well. Compare that to very meaningful, great written story and characters from the first game and you realize how sad it all is when games start to serve propaganda instead of focusing on meaningful story and characters. Whoever wrote this story, characters, and added propaganda bits and pieces should be fired and never hired in gaming company again. There is time and place for everything, but this game is not it. Leave the games out of this horseshit that is going around. We want to escape it, not be bombarded again by it in games. It is detrimental to overall acceptance of minorities or difference because it is shoved down our throats, therefore making people more angry instead of more accepting. In conclusion, The Last of Us 2 is great when it comes to gameplay, brutality, world, graphics, voice acting, but abysmal when it comes to story and characters. I'm giving it 6 out of 10, which translates to decent game. Too bad, because this could have been something incredible. I genuinely had a blast playing gameplay bits where we were soloing. These are so good, but not enough of them unfortunately. Anyway, this is my opinion of The Last of Us 2, hope you liked the review and see you soon.